Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Bobby. These are my Ascension messages, and I will be coming to you from Zoom. I just got to prepare this a little bit, sorry, and get the chat bar going. Hopefully that redoes. Okay, we're all set to go. Yay. So hello, everybody. Good morning. Today we are going to have a really cool topic. The topic is something, it was a message that was given to me throughout the week, and I know that these are the Ascension messages which are helping guide us through these new energies, how we can use them to our advantage and all of that sort of stuff. But first of all, I just want to have a quick chat. I'm doing these masterclasses at the moment. I'm really excited about them. I've finished number 3 now. So the very full on classes. And the first 2 are, I'm just going to pull that up, are all about controlling the mind and letting go enough to know your soul. So there's a lot of my own. This is all of my guidances that I've come into. So my guides taught me throughout the years, and I'm talking about since I was about 27 when they led me to finding a gold bracelet under the sand, and then I started to listen to their voices in my head. And so they taught me how to clear my mind, become still. And where we're going is what I'm going to talk about today as well, because this time right here, right now, is such an advantage point for us to take back our power. But you have no idea how much it's going to feel so good when you do this. When it happened to me, like they led me through this whole 2 years of exercises, working through things, teaching me how to do things, what to focus on, all of that sort of stuff. And then they gave me these insights as well. And when it happened, I ended up having such clarity. And then I lost it. And then they said, like, the training wheels are off you go, you do it yourself. I'm like, holy crap. And I really had to work through a lot of issues that they hadn't cleared, that I had to clear from my past and so forth. But through this whole transition, I learned how to do this. So I'm now putting this into masterclasses for you guys to learn how to do it, and also learn how to channel yourself. So you become the master of your own reality, but you should become the master of your own reality by the end of these classes. So there's 4 videos to them, and there are, I'll just go through the titles: Controlling the Mind, Letting Go to Know Your Soul, the pineal gland. They told me a lot about the pineal gland, telepathy and channeling. So, and we get into really cool games and exercises with the telepathy and channeling so that you can focus onto that. And then with the 4 classes that I'm putting together, I also do the Zoom calls. So there'll be a couple of Zoom calls where you can actually integrate, talk to me about everything and how you're going and all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be exciting when that's launched. It'll probably be for sale in another month or so. And yeah, and that'll be for about a couple of months where you can apply to take those classes on. So they're my spiritual master classes. Anyways, let's get into the actual channeling for today. So I was driving in my car as usual, and I got some more messages coming through about the energies at the moment, and it's getting exciting, guys. It is getting exciting. Hey, Vanda. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Javier. Good to see you in the chat bar. So they showed me a path, and the path was just one line going backwards and forwards. And so here we are walking this path, going backwards and forwards, and we could, it just kept going on the same straight path. And that was really pretty much the history of humanity and the logical side of things. And yes, we learned few things, picked up a few things on the way. Usually, actually, what humanity picked up was from somebody that had tapped into their soul, had tapped into their imagination, and like drip fed these creative ideas through. And then humanity's kind of like, oh, wow, let's try that. So that's literally how we choose. We have to choose to change our reality if things aren't working. And it was a very slow progression. But they said right here, right now, and they showed me just the path ending and then all of the paths splitting, and they were curving into each other. So there was like this wave of, like we're literally in a quantum wave at the moment. And that meant that, yes, your life might feel like it's a house of cards being thrown in the air and you don't know where it's going to land. But there's this, if you have enough tenacity to control the mind, you can, and this can happen now. This can happen from now right up till, we've got quite a few years now, decades, that we can use this energy. And then we can focus in on what we really want. So there's a lot of people that are coming up that are still to clear a lot, still to go through the whole shadow work, understand that they have to face their emotions, and realize that their emotions actually hold the key to connecting to their soul, being able to express their passions and desires, shift their realities, all of that sort of stuff. But until they learn to deal with some emotions that they've been hiding away because they're too scared to go into those emotions, because the outside world's taught them if they do, then they look weak, then they look silly, and so they kind of hide them in their little hidey hole and don't express them. And if a question comes up about those emotions, they'll just push them away or get angry or whatever it is. But in any case, once we learn to have gone through all of that, deal with the fact that emotions are a part of humanity's understanding our feelings. We need to be able to connect with our feelings, to be able to connect with our soul, to be able to move through our life in a way that feels absolutely euphoric, really, in the end. There's an acceptance that has to happen. Instead of hiding things. Sorry, they're coming through as well. There's something else, but I'm not quite getting it yet. We'll keep going with this topic. But in any case, they show me all these paths going back and forth. No, they were kind of like wiggles that were joining and then not joining. And you could snap it into one focused attention, bringing me through to quantum physics, and where the observer snaps into the reality that they're creating. But if the observer is snapping into a reality that they're creating through trying to avoid something, it's like the elephant in the room, the avoidance ends up showing up for them. That's why we have to do this shadow work, to prep ourselves. But right here, right now, those that have done enough shadow work and have enough control of their mind can literally, they'll probably find that they've surrendered their reality to the universe. So the universe, they just go, here, universe, take my reality. I want to see the best result. And then all of a sudden, everything starts to unravel. I know I did that last year, and I just thought, I'm going to trust where this lands. And because I wanted to up my level into a greater, a more beautiful life. Of course, I wanted my loved ones to come with me, but that's their choice as well. So sometimes when you do that sort of work, if someone's not prepared or ready to go with you, then they will fall away. And that's the downside of it. But you will always be put in alignment with the new soul family that you are now resonating with at a higher frequency, that you can actually create the reality that you desire. So it might be a falling away of certain people, but then are coming up with other people. And there's a transition period where everything feels like it's in the air. And that's what they're showing me now, as we stand on this precipice of the edge of eternity, because it is all possibilities can come into our reality, because all possibilities exist, but it's our actual focus of who we are and where we want to go that pulls us into a pinpoint reality or a story that we want to move through, because we are the creator and the creation at the same time. So as the observer, we are the creator. And as the person in this body, we are the creation. So then we are learning to, at this moment, with all of these high love frequencies that are bombarding us, and people out there are going, everything's chaotic. Oh my gosh. Things are coming out. I'm not feeling very good about myself, but it's because they've been shown all those parts of themselves that they weren't that they were hiding from, that they weren't seeing as love, and that there is an advantage point when you get over the problematic program within your logical mind to tell you that what you are hiding from is weak and shouldn't be shown to the rest of the world. When you get over that, you actually realize there's a massive strength behind it. So we're learning at the moment through everything being thrown up in the air and not realizing where we're going to actually land. What parts of us do we actually want? Because we go in and out every day. Okay, I'll try that. No, I'll pull back and then I'll try that. And it could be an external thing that you are now going to wean yourself off that's, kept you in a limbo state. That could be anything from alcohol to, substances and stuff like that. Or it could be external, as in even from a spiritual point of view. I have to meditate so many hours a day. I have to hold on to this crystal or else bad luck's going to happen. That sort of thing can happen with a spiritual person that's holding on to something externally outside of them to say that that's the only way that they can find peace within themselves. And they'll find it's not going to work anymore because that's the energies at the moment throwing everything in the air to say there is nothing external that you can hold on to that finds peace. It's all within you. It's all a decision, a choice within yourself of how you want to move through this life from now on. So this could be a pivotal point where you just go, that I'm going to let go of, that I'm going to bring in, that I'm going to change up. So it's really interesting, and that's what they're showing me, a trillion paths coming from this one logical path that we've been trudging on, trying to evolve a soul, and it never evolves, and the soul just kept on having a massive issue that happened, and that problem never got cleared. Then they pass on, they die, they need to come back to clear that problem, and so they come into a family that has the problem, and then they're like, oh my God, my family, and I'm going to blame my family for it. But that is an actual chance to, when you have the problem right in front of you, to see it for what it is, that you actually were the creator of your reality and your existence, bringing you into a finite point of that's the story that's going to roll from now on. And so life after life, you kept on coming back to the same story and same scenario, and your soul never evolved into a higher frequency. And really what you were striving for, instead of all that outside frivolous stuff, is the peace of mind within you, where you can find clarity so that you can hear your soul sing when it comes to something that makes you feel really enlightened in this world, and allow only the people that come in. You have enough assertiveness now to say no to those that don't resonate, because it's easy, because it doesn't feel good it just won't work. Instead of having the lessons coming back at you because you still keep going on that one same path expecting it to change. We can't expect changes to happen if we can't expect changes to happen if we keep going on the same path. So that's why at this moment in time with humanity's consciousness, there is this prefaces for each and every one of us individually as source energy to change it up, to shift it up. So if you've asked the universe that you want something to change, or you're asking to up level yourself into a more loving, more conducive, more beautiful place that you want to go into, you might find your whole world has been thrown up in the air. And then that actually is showing you the path that you can take to meet the right people, to be in the right place, to create the right business, and all of that sort of, and ground more love into this existence through the decision making or choices that you make of, I am surrendering to the universe showing me more. And so that's why now, for a lot of us that are in the spiritual zone that really do understand this work, are going to be in a position where, holy crap, I thought I did all the shadow work and now my whole world's turned upside down, but I've got to keep on knowing, like, with all this patience, and so over the word patience, of that it's going to land in the right place, and also to know that you have to physically do things now to be able to ground that love too. It's not just an airy fairy story that happens in the ether. There's things to do, like, and you'll feel this pull to do it, and then you might feel a resistance from your lack of your fear or something, that you were not wanting to step into that power for you. And so because of that powerful you came out, then what's the rest of the world going to say about that? You know, how are they going to react to the fact that now you're stepping into power? You were just that little, little child in the background that never got listened to, and now all of a sudden you're deciding that you're going to take back your power. How are your parents and your family and the people that are around you going to handle this? So sometimes when we go through this whole transition, there might be this little resistance that come in, even if you've done the shadow work, because it's still showing you, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to take the new you into this grounding, this new you onto this planet, so that you can become who you truly are, the authentic self, that is the self that also understands your soul lineage as well as your logical lineage, your body's lineage, your body's history of what you've gone through from birth till now. That's one side of you, but then the other side that's coming in through the soul, and connecting to our intuition and our imagination, and understanding that there's actual keys in your imagination to what your soul lineage was, in bringing those through. So yeah, quite a powerful feeling at the moment, as I connect in to the transition that humanity can go through if they take these new energies that are bombarding humanity at the moment. So there's a lot of energy. If we had this amount of energy forced upon us and back 2 years ago, we would have gone crazy. Actually, it's quite funny, because I actually did come across a post, the Hopi Star prophecy. Many will appear to have lost their minds in these final days. So intense will the nature of the changes be that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. So the Hopis had this understanding of what was to come when they foresaw the future of humanity's consciousness going through this transitional period of returning back to source energy, returning back to love. So to return back to love, we have these intense energies that feel like they're bombarding us of that frequency. They're actually telling me that they always resided. It's just that when we start to open up, humanity starts to do the shadow work and open up to more grounding, more love, then we feel more love. Love has always been around us. That's what creates everything. And the sun was always conducive to that. But when we measure the sun, when we measure it, we will measure more, because that's our outside reality reflecting back to us how much we're actually able to absorb or bring into our reality. Well, interesting. So it's still coming from you, even though it looks like it's coming from an outside fraction or outside body. Everything is coming from the inner core self, understanding itself, becoming more in line to God, prime creator, source energy, whatever you want to call it. When we come more in line with that, we come more in line with just love, and then we're grounding more of that love on this planet. But to do that, if we snapped straight into that, that would be too much. They're bringing me to the story that when I actually was telepathically connected to the elder. So when she held my hand and telepathically talked to me, I ended up having this immense love for her. Like, it was so immense that my logical brain was literally having a brain fart. Like, I went back to my room and went, huh? I'm not in love with her because I couldn't put it in a contents that my logical brain could understand. And I wanted to be like that connection that we had was just so utopic. It was so beautiful and it was open and it had to be open for us to actually converse telepathically. So when we go into these higher frequencies, fifth dimension and so forth and up, we end up having this connection to each other that's just love. And it's not a well, sexual love is part of everything, but there is no defining on bad, good, who's wrong, for expressing themselves and who's not. It's just like a unity of collaboration of coming together, whether it be mentally, spiritually, energetically, or physically. There is no wrong or right when it comes to love. But we've created this contents and put it in a bubble and said and then we've twisted it and gone, because love is such a beautiful frequency. If the powers to be didn't twist it for us and make us feel guilty about everything that we do when it comes to love, or make it feel like it's airy-fairy or whatever, then we would have slipped back into that, because that's our natural self, our authentic self. So they've had to warp it and converse it and make it into something that's very icky. But love is when two things want to express themselves in that way. Two things come together, and there's a vibration that's between them. That's just love. So when I was talking to the elder telepathically, it was a decision between us to do that, to open up. I had to open up and to that reality, to be able to connect to her, and she had to as well. So we have this. That's natural. That's nature. That's everything. It's how because it's when two things come together. They're telling me that join, and when they join. And we're not talking physically here, we're talking like energetically, but everything is part of it, they're telling me anyway. But because even our physical self is a soul, like everything is soul, everything is God, everything is source energy. But in any case, just think of it from an energetic point of view. When we actually meet somebody, there's a new energy that comes between those two people meeting, and that it cannot be created by any other two energies. It's those two energies that come together, that have a collaboration, that decide to do that. So a new energy is born, and that's how we start to create more and more and more on Earth. So our creation becomes more. And that's how we expand, because then we can create beautiful babies and so forth, and they come from love and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, and the energies start to go higher and higher, because it's coming from love, from love, from love, and not this warpedness of resistance from each other. It's interesting. Anyway, let's keep going with this other topic. I just want to leave it there. I'm getting a little bit, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just have to calm down. Hey, Mark. Hey, Sasha. Hey, Sky. Hey, Nicole. Right. That was a lot. There's a lot of messages right there. So, yeah, because it's all to do with creating a new reality here on Earth, but it's an alignment with those, coming into alignment with others that are coming from love, not from fear, not from resistance, and the only way to do that is to clear your own path, So even though like they're showing me that path, that was the one path that was kept going, and humanity keep going on that same one path, and then branching into many, to make it branch into many, to have an eternal possibilities, to have all possibilities in front of you, excuse me, you have to have cleared your path enough within yourself, within your psyche, within who you are, an acceptance of self, an acceptance of the emotions, an acceptance of everything, and a trust that the reason why the universe has your back is because you have cleared yourself and you have your back. So it all keeps coming back to self and how we feel about ourselves. And if you have ever done a meditation where you just, oh my God, I feel so powerful, like I'm way more powerful in this meditation, how I see myself, than what I am out in the real world. They're wanting us to ground that power, become the master of your own life, to all that walk this reality, to become, I don't know, the Tibetan, the masters, you know, whether you might have a guru that you esteem to you, that you really like, and some sort of person, maybe, I don't know, could be anyone from Gandhi to, it doesn't really matter. And the way that you see them and how they carry themselves and how they walk this world, and then you resonate with that. And so there's something there that you, if you resonate with it, there's something within you that's wanting to become grounded in this world like that. Can you imagine if we were all that grounded within our own frequency, that we never seeked anything outside of us to tell us who we are or what we should do or where we should go, who we should follow? All of that will come crumbling down. Those cards will disappear. And then that's how the energy, the world will shift. First of all, it will shift from you because you no longer are doing that. And so your world becomes expansive, and then you can bring in all those beautiful things that you want. And whether you want to like take a trip to a tropical island and, you know, allow the flow of abundance to come into your reality, where you don't have to worry about money anymore, all the bills that were going to be paid. You've got this freedom feeling. I think this is what we're all seeking. And that is in a higher frequency, where when we start to share and help each other, no matter how that sharing looks, it doesn't matter. And when we start to share and help each other, then we can actually bring out this, like unfold this new carpet, this new world for others to see, that in, you know, there's no need for the holding on and greed and power controlling and all of that sort of thing anymore, because it doesn't give you freedom either. So you could be the poorest person on this earth and live in a gutter and have absolutely nothing and be, you know, starving and really striving to get food and all of that, and the tension that comes with that feeling of being such a victim. Or you could be the richest person on this earth and have to hoard everything and make sure that nobody's going to steal it, and always be looking out for all of those people over there and never making any real friends or anything like that, thinking that everyone's after your money. And that's tension as well. Either way, it's warped and it's wrong, because it's not coming from this as even flow of give and take, give and take. So when we feel fueled up within ourselves, and yes, we might have a thing that we want to ground. We might want to ground a beautiful home. We might want to ground some land, you know, actually have some land in our reality that we can work with Mother Earth. Or we might want to just have a humble little you know, caravan home that we travel in freely around the world, because Earth is free, right? She should be free to be able to travel wherever. There was no need for, you know, putting up boundaries and laws and all of those restrictions and that anymore. We're free to do what we wish, but people will get to a certain level of what they want to ground to make themselves feel safe, feel good, feel like they've got their own utopia on Earth. And then the rest of the excess is gifted away, and we just gift it away. So there's no there's no trillionaires and multimillionaires or anything like that. It's not necessary, because the excess would feel wrong in these higher frequencies, because all of a sudden when you have too much, you will start to feel tension again and encroaching on your own self of trying to over protect again. And it won't feel good. And even trying to control somebody else, it won't feel good, because you can't control someone entirely. And it's always coming from the fact that you're never controlling yourself. And you haven't controlled yourself because you haven't found the utopia or the space within you to move into these higher frequencies of love and wanting to share and express everything with other people and allow things to come to you, allow them to flow out from you in this even way. So this is another reason why there's many, many paths coming towards human, or opening up in humanity's consciousness for those that are doing the work, because they're no longer living in the matrix, that the matrix has pulled the wall over their eyes to say that they need to have specific things to look good to the outside world. You don't care about how the outside world can do what it wishes. You will only be bringing in those that are conducively helping or aligning with your energy anyway, and creating the path that you all wanted to have. The expression of, like, maybe having a beautiful lodge that you all built together, and everyone comes in and does yoga in the mornings. I mean, there's people that want to do the cooking because they love cooking, people that want to teach the young ones out in a teepee out in the field over there, or or let them run around in the forests and stuff like that, and teach them about nature and growing, and how the world grows, and how they can connect to Mother Earth, and she will grow things for them, and all that sort of stuff. Where people want to go out and have a huge shed and build things, and actually physically build something. And then there's others that want to learn more, mastering the mind to be able to manifest things in real time. There's all sorts of things that will open up, but it's all coming from self-love. It's all coming from who you are, your authentic self, grounding that more into earth. And so that's why the love frequencies are feeling more open for us at the moment, so that we can actually ground this on earth more. Where before it wasn't grounded on earth at all. And so it gave that opening for somebody to come in and just bombard how you're supposed to be on this planet. But I know that when you were a little child, you would have gone, oh, the freedom of earth, yay, and then found all these restrictions on the way, right? Because you were a soul knowing that you're free on earth in that moment. And then you started to listen to those that were supposed to align you with that more of that freedom, but they didn't know any better, because they were taught by their parents, and they were just following that straight road, which is really just the logical mind saying that it's dictating everything, because it has had no connection to the soul through that fear of not understanding itself. And that's why humanity's consciousness went on this long journey to learn how to understand the logical mind. Oh, they're really intense at the moment. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Chat bar. Oh, I feel like I've been channeling for an hour. It's only been 30 minutes. There's so much information coming through, right? Just give me a little breather here. Huh. But my team is really excited. There's this apprehension feeling as well of what's coming next, because nobody really knows. That's the beauty, right, of us coming together and creating something completely new. You don't know two unknown substances coming together what it actually creates. And so even though Pleiadian energies have been with us through the Atlantis Lemuria age and so forth, and other beings, the Lyrians, the Vegans, the Lyrians, the Anunnakis, all those sort of beings that were part of our reality in the past, there's been a break where we just weren't able to communicate because we were stuck in that logical thought frame that there's only what we can see, feel, touch, externally, hear, taste, that's it, was real. And so now that this whole new game's opening up to feelings as well, those that are in other planets, that my team is telling me there's this kind of small apprehension. It's not like a fear or anything, but it's just like a wondering what's going to happen next. Because even though, say, my Pleiadian friends have, been here in the past and all that, when they come now, because humanity's learnt all of this about the logical mind, it's different. It's all different because there's been a growth within humanity's consciousness. Even though it felt like it wasn't, it felt like we were trapped. It felt, and then we were trapped because we had to learn all about our outside world without entangling into other dimensional aspects of ourselves that had to be kind of stopped so that we didn't meddle in other creations that were already beautiful. That we didn't want to. They didn't want the powerful humans to distort those dimensions. So the principal people just shut, just blocked it out with the fear game. And that's why the leaders, the ones that we started looking outside ourselves and we weren't looking within us, they started to encroach on us, all the fear games and everything, which shut us down from our authentic connection to our soul. And now, though, that they are recognizing that there's going to be contact in the future, there's more and more chances of humanity and those that have done the clearing and those that are connected to other beings to have real contact coming in front of them. That when that connection really does happen, not just from an etheric world, but a physical world as well, what is that going to look like? And I just stubbed my toe. And nobody actually knows. Nobody really knows. And so there's this unknown wondering, even from their side. I feel it. It's easier for them to obviously connect to those that when their souls have come straight from that planet. But there's also those that have been in Atlantis, Lemuria, and then did the life after life and was persecuted as a witch and that sort of thing. And they want to connect with them as well because they hold information through that journey of their lineage. They hold information that the beings that, the Pleiadians or whatever Sirius people, whatever the Acrturians will learn from. So we're all teaching each other this new world that we're creating, and it's just through love and no more fear, through expansion and love of knowing a strong, stable self, knowing thyself in such a strong manner that nothing outside of you can rock that, because you know who you are in a very strong manner, that you have your own support. And so your own support will then create the support that comes towards you as well. And the eclipse was one of those marker points. The eclipse that just happened was one of those marker points. There's something very unusual about that eclipse that just happened. I'm not sure about it completely, but there was something unusual. Because everything is outside of us, but it's all coming from within. I'm just feeling into it a bit, almost like another body. I don't even want to say what they're saying. I don't even know if I could say what they're saying because it sounds so bizarre. Okay, I'm just going to leave that because I'm going to think on that one. I like to ground some of these. If the message is sort of a new thing to me. Sometimes I need to ground it in my logical brain. I don't want to bring it out with a warped energy. Maybe there's another talk on that in the future. We'll see where it all goes. And how you can do that is to just let go and then trust if some other story comes in to tell you the same story in an external way 3 times, then in different ways, and then you know you're on the right path. I've learned you have to learn to be able to let go and live in this moment, to be able to allow those messages to come back to you, because the truth will always come back to you. You'll never lose what is meant for you. And that's a freedom right there, because when you realize you'll never lose what is meant for you, you are free to live in the moment and not have the concerns of the logical mind trying to dictate and control and protect and all of that sort of stuff. That falls away, because now you're just in this total ease of life. And remember, they're saying, remember, the more that you are at ease with your life, the more that your cells are healthy, the more that you don't have tension within your body, the more the dis-ease drops away, the more that your cells can heal other cells that might have gone a little warped. And also remember, if something has gone warped within you and you have something that's in you that's not going right, always remember that within that cell is the memory of what it was, the function that it was born to do. Just like you remembering you right here, right now, and your authentic self and your function of what you're supposed to do from source energy's point of view, so that you can move freely through this life, being that master of yourself. Hey, Yannicka. I'm ready to hear it. This is Javier. Yeah, so that's why the love frequency is going to open us up to a lot more, because when we're in that frequency, you're not tense anymore. You're totally at peace and at ease with yourself. And you're also knowing, no, that's not for me. Like, you have strong boundaries of, it's not even that. They used to show me 2 paths where someone would walk on a path, and some would be in a negative mind, some would be in a positive mind. And someone would go, my life is awesome, my life is crap. The one that's going, my life is awesome, could go on a path and they'll take that path, and then they'll have this awesome life. And the one that's thinking their life's crap will go on this path, and then they'll end up getting mugged or something, because they're just literally confirming to themselves, having to confirm to their logical brain, see, my life is crap. But now they're showing me something different. Two people, and they're saying it's not the path, it's just the person. So 2 people going down the same path at the same time. One will trip over a stone, and the other will just naturally walk over it. So one will even if you're on the same path, you could be right next to somebody who's going through absolute misery, but your path, because you're already found it within yourself, you will always see the things that it will just naturally happen, that you see the things that are blocking, you see through more, your world has expanded past the limitations of feeling judged, blocked, unseen, victimized. You don't feel that anymore, so you're open to all this other stuff. And you might even see flowers growing where the other person didn't even see that. They'll walk the same path. You can watch the same movie, and one person will notice all of the negative stuff in the movie, and the other person will notice all of the beauty and the cinematography and how gorgeous it was. So they're not really fixated on a plot that's negative or anything. They are enjoying just the presence of the beauty. So we can't then judge each other for loving certain things, because we're only judging ourselves on the fact that we've already focused in on the negative thing. And so that negative thing ends up being your reality. And all possibilities are there in the same place. Kind of like one of the things that they're bringing up is a conversation I had with somebody yesterday about Disney World. And Disney World in some people's lives is absolutely a blessing. Like they had such an awesome time. They had an adventure. They were excited. They just had they're childlike and they're running through Disney World and it's just gorgeous. And then there's others like, it's converse and it's got all this hidden energy in it and all that sort of stuff. And it probably didn't start out that way, but it's gone that way because of the controlling factors trying to turn all of our blessings into shit. Excuse the expression, but they are. And so two people could go to Disney World. One has an absolute blessing of a time and the other one is just seeing all of the ickiness. And yeah, it's just interesting. We can't judge each other when we get to this level of awareness. The judging falls away because you realize that it's just source energy through that person having that experience. And maybe they need to learn that lesson. Maybe they need to fixate on the worst scenario, which actually, if you fixate on the worst scenario, you're fueling it by fixating on that problem. But if you allow yourself to have like the freedom to see, it's not that you're avoiding, you can know something, but you just don't fixate your energy in on it because you want to grow this over here. You want to grow the sunflower over here where they're fixated on the weeds and all of that's happening and the weeds just seem to get bigger. Where you're saying, well, okay, the weed exists over there, but maybe that weed was necessary for somebody to learn a lesson from, for that energy was necessary for a certain bug not to hurt my flower that I'm growing over here. I don't know. There's all these different, that's why they're saying it's not just one straight path. When we get to that point of clearance, we see many trillions of paths. And so you cannot judge another person for the path that they're taking. So stop coming down on each other. I see that a lot in the spiritual people. Oh, you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't do this. And I'm like, well, just allow it to be free. Let people express themselves in the way they want. You can move away. You don't have to be, you shouldn't. That's still controlling your outside world. It's telling the outside world how they should act so that you feel safe in your world because you haven't felt safe in your world. Yeah, quite a big lesson there, actually. Hey, Mary, good to see you. So there's a lot of information coming through now about just allowing yourself to release. Yeah, Mary, just reading her thing. Physical body pain that I've had for a while now. Yeah, I don't want to go into a reading or anything for someone just here at the moment, but there is an acceptance of something that's held on to that you probably need to look into, and the core reason where it came from, because it's always, everything starts with thought, and we are literally moving into these higher dimensions, which are thought. So your thoughts need to be clear for you to be able to manifest the world that you desire, and know that what you're focusing on is actually what you want to create. But if you're holding on to something in the past, it can be held on into the body, and then the body becomes tense in that certain muscle area where it holds the story, and it's like an overprotection. And then the tension happens around the muscles, around the cells, around everything. They can't move, they can't be flexible, and so they cause a problem. And so to alleviate that, to go into the story of where it all started from, the thought form that happened maybe in a life before, a previous life, a previous life, a previous life. It could be in this life when you were a child, could be in this life when you were 30, whatever, but you held on to some sort of something out of overprotecting yourself. Yeah. If anyone wants a personal reading with me too, the link's down below. And I do full-on Ascension Tarot readings too on Thursday. We ask the big questions, and sometimes we go into readings for the individuals in the chat bars as well, depending how I feel. Let's see if there's any other beautiful messages coming through for those energies at the moment. Don't be too hard on yourself. They do tend to say that a lot. Those that have done the work tend to be quite hard on themselves because many of them are star children, come straight from the stars, or they have been those that have held on to codes. And so they're very hard on themselves because they know that there's something that they're supposed to do. And so that being hard on yourself literally blocks you from becoming the person that you want to be. So trust that you're in the right place at the right time for doing what you need to do, that everything will fall into place, click into place for you. Yeah. I think we will leave it here though, guys. Don't forget on Thursday, I do tarot reading, asking big questions, and I'm not sure what we're going to ask yet. I'll wait till that question comes up. And yeah, I could do a couple. I won't do too many, but I'll do a couple of free chat bar readings now if somebody wants one. Just say yes, and I will do that for you. Just a couple, fill in a bit of time. And I don't know, sometimes maybe there's somebody there that needs to hear something. If you're clicking off now, don't forget some of these readings that I do for others could be for you as well. But if you're clicking off now, have a wonderful time. And I'll see you probably on Thursday. Okay, Sky. Sky. Okay, Sky, while I was shuffling then, I kept having in my imagination a card just flying out, but I was holding on to the cards too tight. So there might be something within you that you're holding on to too tight to allow it to flow. Yeah, just flow. That's exactly what I saw in my head. Silence. And that goes completely with what I was just telling you. So they want you to come into an inner silence and knowing that you don't need to know all the answers right now. Your silence will bring you alignment with the next step, and you won't even need to think about it. And then you'll just do it anyway. So don't panic too much. Don't hold too much tension. Just come into the silence of yourself. There's more power within the silence of you than what there is in trying to predict or think about the next move. Okay. Who else should I choose? Debbie. Ooh. Oh, I'm not even shuffling these cards very easily with you. Okay. Okay, so the creator card came out with the friendliness. So there's something new coming up. You might be feeling a bit, when's this going to happen? What's going to happen? Because I felt discombobulated as I was shuffling the cards, like the energy kind of went a little bit, not knowing how tight to hold them, not knowing how much to do. But there's something aligning with you at the moment. It's all supposed to be that way so that you can clear out little loose end clutters of yourself that's showing up, and you are creating something new, being open, to be open again to friendliness, to be open again to other people's energies as well. You're welcome, Sky. Okay, Nicole. Oh, I do like these cards flying out. we have maturity. So all the cards are beautiful at the moment. Like this is literally the 10 of, I think it's the 10 of cups or the 10 of, it's one of the 10s anyway in the tarot. And it's absolute blessings coming your way because you've matured up now, you know who you are, and you're starting to move in a better way, or you're about to come into this. So something's about to happen where you just go, click. Oh, I get it now. I don't have to hold on so much. There's something maturing up within you. Yeah, it feels like you might have felt some great tension before that. That tends to happen before we're about to click into something that's released. Yeah, something to do with that. I'm just doing really quick readings. So at the moment, Robin. That one flipped over and came back, but I felt to take it. So it's listening, opening yourself up to listening and channeling messages coming through you. Some new information coming through that's going to enlighten you, listening, because then you're receiving. If you start, oh, okay, I get it. So if you start to listen and become receptive to even channel messages and stuff, then you are learning to receive. You're stepping into your feminine body. And then they said it's going to open up something new for you to receive externally so that you can actually receive gifts, receive abundance, receive things that's going to make your life easier. But one of the first things they want you to do is just to be receptive to messages coming through, because those messages will align you with the actual external gifts that are coming in. In other words, move here, buy that lotto ticket, that sort of thing. Okay, guys, I love you heaps. I will leave you here until the next time.